Hello, everyone. Welcome to Awaken Your Freedom Show. Please subscribe to support our growing community. Today, we're doing a deep dive into Deepak Chopra's The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. We've heard you want to grasp knowledge quickly, but, really get it. Find those aha moments without feeling overwhelmed. So that's our mission.
Yeah, the goal is really to unpack these laws, go beyond just the surface, and see how they might actually shift how you think about success itself.
Exactly. It's less about that constant chase and more about finding alignment, finding a more natural way.
Mm-hmm. And we're pulling straight from Chopra's work here, looking at these principles for finding that inner balance in our crazy busy lives.
Okay, so let's dive right in. Law number 1, the law of pure potentiality.
Right. And this one's foundational. The core idea is that who you really are, like your essential nature. It's pure consciousness. It's this field of infinite possibilities way beyond your job or what you've achieved.
That's a powerful thought, isn't it? That your value comes just from being, not constantly doing.
It really is.
Yeah.
And Chopra uses that analogy of a seed, how it just holds the potential of a whole tree inside it without any forcing.
Like nature just knows, which makes you think, how do we tap into that when we're always running around? We define ourselves so much by what we do.
We really do. And that pressure, that need to do things to feel worthy, can actually obscure that potential Chopra talks about.
So how do we access it then?
Stillness. That's what he emphasizes. Creating quiet moments.
Ah, like Steve Jobs. His Zen practice, those famous long walks. It wasn't about forcing ideas, was it?
No, it seems like it was about creating the mental space, the quiet, for innovation to just bubble up.
Okay, so the big takeaway here is your worth is inherent. It's in your being. Quieting the mind lets that inner genius come through. Maybe think about where you could find a little more stillness.
Mm-hmm. Even just a few minutes.
All right, moving on to law number 2, the law of giving. Seems simple, but Chopra adds some depth.
Absolutely. It's not just about, quid pro quo, giving to get something back immediately. She talks about the universe operating through this dynamic exchange, this constant flow of energy.
Okay.
So when we give freely, it could be a smile, kindness, attention, a resource, we jump into that flow. We become part of it, which allows abundance to circulate back to us.
It's like unblocking something, isn't it? You see this with content creators, right? Like Jay Shetty or Mel Robbins.
Oh, definitely. They give away so much valuable insight for free.
And what happens? They build massive trust, huge influence. People are just drawn to that generosity.
And that element of trust is key.
Yeah.
Giving genuinely without expecting an immediate payback builds this deep trust. Trust in yourself, trust in the flow. And that trust itself becomes like a magnet for abundance, not just money, but all sorts of good things.
So it's the intention that matters, giving from a feeling of fullness, not scarcity.
Exactly.
And that actionable tip starting the day asking, what can I give? It's so simple, even a kind word.
Precisely. And when it comes from that full place, no strings attached, well, that's when it really has power.
Okay, that leads us nicely into law number 3, the law of karma, or cause and effect. We hear karma thrown around a lot.
We do. But Chopra kind of grounds it. It's less about cosmic scorekeeping and more about basic energy principles. Every action, even every thought, creates an energy ripple that eventually comes back around.
Like planting seeds, your thoughts, your choices today. They're the seeds for what you harvest later.
Exactly. That direct link between our current energy and future experiences is, well, it's powerful. Makes you really think about what you're putting out there.
The Oprah example is pretty striking here, giving away those cars.
Yeah, that wasn't just a stunt. It reflected this whole brand built on generosity first.
And look at the trust and goodwill that built over years. It's like she embodied that generous energy first.
And it came back to her massively. It's a perfect example of being the energy you want to receive instead of just chasing the result.
So the takeaway is about consciously choosing the energy you invest in, right? Be that energy first. Don't just look for the quick win.
You got to be intentional about the quality of the seeds you're planting.
All right, law number 4, the law of least effort. Now this one might make some people uncomfortable in our hustle culture.
Yeah, it could definitely raise some eyebrows. We're so programmed to think harder equals better. Push, push, push. But Chopra looks at nature. Think about water. It's soft, adaptable.
Yet it carves canyons through mountains over time, effortlessly in a way.
Exactly. Power through flow, not force. That's the idea. It's not about laziness.
No, it's about finding the path of least resistance, aligning with the natural current instead of fighting it.
Precisely. Minimizing resistance, maximizing flow. And that practical tip, do less, but with more intention.
Okay, I like that. Work from joy, from that feeling of flow, not from grinding pressure.
Mm.
You might actually achieve more and feel better doing it.
Right. Finding where your passion meets purpose, where effort feels natural, like an expression of who you are, not a forced march.
Yeah, noticing when you're swimming upstream and figuring out how to turn and go with the current instead.
That's the essence of it.
Okay, Law 5. The law of intention and desire. Seems obvious, but Chopra makes a really interesting distinction here.
He does. It's subtle but crucial. He emphasizes that the intention behind the desire is the real powerhouse.
Mm.
Desire alone can be kind of flimsy, right? Driven by ego or what we think we should want.
Mm-hmm.
But when you anchor that desire in a clear intention, your deep why, that's where the power is.
The Elon Musk example is fascinating here, wanting to get humanity to Mars.
Yeah, it's not just I want to build cool rockets.
Mhm.
There's this huge, almost beyond personal intention driving it all.
That intention fuels everything. It
Yeah.
gives the desire incredible focus and energy because it's rooted in something much bigger.
Exactly. So the practical insight for you listening is, when you set goals, don't just list the what. Dig deeper. Feel the why.
Connect with the purpose behind it. Ground it in something meaningful, not just ego.
Right. It's about tapping into that deeper meaning, setting goals that really resonate with your core values.
So intention guides the energy of desire.
Got it. Okay, number 6, the law of detachment. This one's tricky. We're taught to hold on tight to our goals.
Totally. Attachment feels like commitment, doesn't it?
It often does. But Chopra flips that. He says detachment isn't apathy, it's actually wisdom. It's about embracing uncertainty.
How so?
Well, when we get hyper-focused, almost obsessed with one specific outcome, we actually close ourselves off. We limit what the universe or life or whatever you want to call it can bring us. Maybe something even better.
Oh, interesting. Like holding your hands clenched tight versus opening them to receive whatever comes.
Exactly that. Think about actors going to audition after audition.
Yeah.
The ones who do their absolute best, pour their heart into it and then let it go. They don't obsess over that one part. They often find breakthroughs happen unexpectedly, maybe with a different role entirely.
Because they created space for the unknown. They weren't strangling the possibility.
Right. Detachment creates room for the unexpected, for opportunities you couldn't have even planned for.
So hold the dream, invest the effort, but release the desperate need for it to look exactly how you imagined.
Hold it like a precious gift, not a tight leash. Detach from the specific how and when to allow for miracles. Trust the process.
Okay. Wow, that requires some faith.
It definitely does. Trust is a big part of it.
Which brings us to the final law, number 7, the law of Dharma, or purpose in life. Feels like this ties it all together.
It really does in many ways. Chopra's idea here is that every single person has a unique purpose, a special talent or gift to share with the world.
A reason for being here, essentially.
Yes, and it's about discovering, embracing, and then expressing that unique calling.
And the clues are often in our joys, right? But maybe even our struggles, like the Maya Angelou example.
So powerful, taking her own immense pain and transforming it through writing I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings.
Which then became a source of healing and understanding for millions. She fulfilled her dharma by sharing her unique truth.
That's the core of it. Dharma is finding that intersection, that sweet spot, where what brings you the most joy meets a genuine need in the world, using your specific gifts in service.
So it's a journey of self-discovery then, asking what truly makes me feel alive and how can that contribute something valuable?
Precisely. Aligning with your soul's purpose and letting that express itself. It's not about forcing, it's about allowing that unique expression.
So looking back at all 7 laws, the big picture seems to be success isn't this thing out there you have to chase down.
No, it's more like a natural consequence, a side effect almost of inner alignment.
Right. Living these laws means co-creating with life, flowing instead of forcing, becoming more fully yourself.
Exactly. And it's not just some floaty spiritual concept. It's practical. It's a way to live with more purpose, more clarity, more kindness, and trust.
Okay, so here's a challenge for you listening. Where could you consciously swap force for flow in your life? Choose faith instead of fear. Maybe shift from seeing things as competition to seeing how you can contribute.
Yeah, just embrace being fully uniquely you.
And maybe ponder this. How might shifting your whole focus from chasing outcomes to aligning with your inner self and the flow, how might that fundamentally change things? Your goals, sure, but also just your sense of fulfillment day to day.
What's one small step towards that alignment you could take, maybe even today?
To close, please don't forget to subscribe on your favorite platform, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or Spotify, to stay sharp and never miss a drop of knowledge that could change your financial life. Thank you.